Welcome to another edition of Living Along the Treasure Coast. I'm your host, Mike Lund. Every week we'll be putting out different episodes of the different areas around the Treasure Coast. So don't forget to subscribe down below so you can keep updated. Today's episode is about what is rent to own? Well, have you ever applied for a home, or you're thinking about applying for a home, but you've been held back because you're not sure if you're going to get approved because of your credit score? Or maybe you haven't been able to save enough money for that down payment. Or you're self-employed. Or maybe you just think that the interest rate is not a great time to be able to purchase a home right now. Well, Divvy Homes has come up with a faster alternative financial option to be able to put you into a home now. And on this episode, I'm going to go through all the questions you may have on Divvy's rent-to-own program. Hi, Mike Lund here, realtor from Robert Slack. I'm here to explain the Divvy rent-to-own program, but before I get into the qualifications and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program itself. All right? Well, Divvy put together this home ownership so it can be accessible to everyone. Their rent-to-own models offer Americans a safe alternative form of financing so they can get their dream homes today instead of waiting. Even if they don't qualify for a mortgage or have money saved down for a down payment. So how can Divvy help? Their program is full of solutions for people to basically that need that stepping stone between renting and that traditional mortgage. So there are more people in that position today based upon interest rates and high rentals. So they're here to help you. Some of you out there are renters and you experience what it's like to have your rent raised year after year after year. I had one customer just tell me this year their rent got raised $500. Unbelievable. The overall national average for rent raising is 14%. And why? Do rents continue to soar? It's because of the overall shortage of properties, rental properties that is, and then the rising mortgage rates that keep more tenants in place. There's no signs of demand cooling either. We expect that year after year, the rent hikes will continue. And some may even be sudden and large, like that customer of mine. So with Divvy, you get the security and the stability of knowing exactly what your rent will be for the next 3 years. Plus, why not use your time renting to build towards your dream of owning with built-in savings and a preset purchase price? So, how does Divvy compare? For instance, you have renters, you have Divvy, and you have a standard mortgage. Now, in this comparison, we'll show the same amount of rent as Divvy, but the mortgage is going to be with an FHA 3.5% down payment. So if you look in the first column, it shows the rental on there. All right, so $23.75 is what they consider the rent. All right, they call it security deposit, but you know when you go into a place, if you're looking to rent a place, you're going to put your first, your last, and a security deposit. So the $23.75 is probably not an accurate figure, but they're doing it just to show you the amount of rent going across down below and the monthly cost. There's always an application fee. Now, sometimes that application fee is $100. We are using $50 in this case on here. So the initial down payment for a rental, they've got $24.25. But if you did the $23.75 times 3, you can see it's going to be a lot more. All right? The monthly cost, you have the rent. And then of course the landlord pays all the fees. So it makes it the $23.75 is your monthly payment, other than your utilities, etc. Now, if you look at a mortgage payment in the last column, and this is all based upon a $300,000 home, by the way, you have your down payment. This is again in the FHA's at 3.5%. So that's $10,500. All right, you got the mortgage application fee, which is a $500. You got your PMI, or your mortgage insurance, which is $5,065. And then closing costs, and they're about 2.5. I like to calculate about 3% sometimes for closing costs. But anyways, with the 2.5, that's $7,500. So when you add all that together, you're looking at a down payment of $23,566.25 in order to get into the home. Now, when you look at your monthly costs, that's $1,568.13, which goes towards interest alone. Your principal is $261.71 on there. Now, those are going to offset each month because the more you pay down on principal, the lower the interest rate is, but the payment's still going to be the same. All right. Then you have your property taxes added on top of that. You have your homeowner's insurance added on top of that, any type of maintenance because you own the property, and then your mortgage insurance on top of that, your PMI. So you're looking at roughly $27.58.59 for the payment. So let's look at Divvy. So Divvy, remember we're going on a 2% down here, all right? So your 2% down is of a $300,000 home is $6,000, all right? All those other costs and fees and everything else, remember, Divvy owns the home, so they're going to be paying for all of that. So your initial to get in is still just the same $6,000, which to me is even lower than the rental because first, last, and deposit, and way lower than the mortgage on here. Your monthly cost, the rent is $23.75, which they equal to the rent of the rental place. Now, they have a savings of $275. That is your money getting put into a savings account that is going towards your down payment. So your monthly rental payment will be $26.50 overall. So when you compare the 3 monthly payments, again, to $23.75 for rent, the $26.50 for Divvy, and the $27.58.59 for a mortgage payment. All right. Again, the Divvy includes a savings dollars amount of $275, which goes towards your down payment when you go to buy the house. So let's go over the benefits of Divvy versus a rental. The first one is stability. You don't need to worry about your rent increasing unexpectedly or lease renewals every year. With Divvy, every cost is 100% predictable from your monthly rent to your home purchase price for a full 3 years. Now, savings made easy. Why? Because part of your monthly payment can go to the savings designed to get you on a down payment in 3 years or less. You'll be on a path to home ownership. Financial security. With Divvy, your savings grow along with your home's value. So you're building equity in your future from day one. The quality of life. You can choose any eligible home on the market, which means better options that give you more comfort and space right now. And last is personalization. With Divvy, you can make your home while you rent, whether you want to paint or landscape or do whatever you want to do, bring your pets. There's no restrictions, it's your home. So let's go over the benefits of Divvy versus a mortgage, all right? So there's no need for a mortgage approval. With Divvy, you don't need to secure a mortgage that could lock you into a high interest rate. There's a lower cost to move in. Divvy requires only 1 to 2% initial payment versus the 20% down payment or the 3.5% that we showed you in the other one. But usually it's in a 30-year traditional mortgage, it's 20% down. The low transaction cost. With traditional mortgages, the high transition costs include interest, taxes, and fees, make it expensive to sell in a short term if life changes. All right? Flexibility. With Divvy, you can walk away at any time with a 60 days notice and keep your Divvy savings minus a 2% relisting fee. And more competitive offer. Once you find your dream home, Divvy buys it with an all-cash offer and a quick close, putting more homes in your reach. With Divvy, it's more yes with less stress. Now, how does it work? The approval process takes about 5 minutes or less, so you can stop dreaming and start shopping. Yes, you can get pre-qualified for a home shopping budget. It's free, there's no commitment, and it doesn't impact your credit score. You can find your dream home with your realtor. Within your budget in hand, go shopping for your new home. And Divvy buys it with an all-cash offer, and the keys are yours. Then you can move in and make it yours. Rent your new home with Divvy while you get ready to own it, with the built-in savings from your down payment each month. So how do you get qualified with a Divvy loan? So remember we talked about the down payment, right? With Divvy, your savings for your down payment are built right into your monthly payment, so they add up over the 3-year period. Well, you only need that 1% to 2% down in order to get the home. About credit scores, all right? Now, most traditional loans, the credit score is a 640 you need minimum. With Divvy, it's only 550. So if you've hit a few bumps in the road, now you have a better option.
For employment and a traditional loan, you need to have at least 2 years of employment. But with Divvy, if you're self-employed or just started a new job, they're okay with it. Because Divvy only looks at the last 3 months of income, which means they're a great option if you're self-employed or recently started a new job. And the last one thing is that you want a more competitive offer when you're looking at buying a house. So Divvy makes an all-cash offer, which sets you apart in today's competitive market and helps us secure your dream home. So let's summarize on what is needed. All right, number one, the customer chooses their dream home. The customer can choose any home on the market, and Divvy buys it on their behalf with just 2% upfront and monthly payments that cover the rent and home savings. Divvy takes care of the negotiating, home inspection, closing fees, and most of the paperwork. All right, number two, the customer makes it their own home. The customer enjoys the benefits of ownership from day one. They're building equity in the home, and the home is theirs. They can feel free and paint the walls and hang up family photos. Number three, they build towards their mortgage. Each month, the customer will make one monthly payment, of which 75% of it is rent and 25% of it goes to the home savings account that goes directly towards the future down payment. And fourth is that they buy back the home or walk away with savings. The customer can buy back the home at any point using their savings to go forward towards their future down payment, or they can walk away and they cash them out minus the 2% relisting fee. It's easy to get qualified, so let's just go over those qualifications one last time. All right, so who qualifies? Again, minimum FICO score of 550. You have to have a minimum of 40,000 annual income. You have to be currently employed or have other steady income sources. Maximum monthly debt to income ratio has to be 50%, including potential Divvy Homes payment. No evictions in the previous year and no bankruptcy in the past year. It's pretty simple. So Divvy was built to create homeowners, not renters. Some call it rent to own. We call it a new kind of real estate company that makes it possible to find your dream home, move in now, and rent with built-in savings for your down payment. And when you're ready, turn your savings into a mortgage and give yourself the power of ownership. So, there you go. Is that something you may be interested in? The Rent to Own program by Divvy? If you are, down below, you'll see my phone number and my email. So you can either text me or call me or email me directly so we can get your application started today. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. So don't forget to comment below or subscribe that we can get updated information. So we'll see you next time on Living Along the Treasure Coast.